So my name is Jacqui and I am a nutritionist and hospitality consultant in Brisbane. I come from a big Greek family, which everything revolves around food, which means every event we have revolves around my kitchen or my auntie's kitchen or, our kitchen. So for me, being able to, renovate or build my dream kitchen means the world to me. Being able to have things in the plate. I'm very methodical and very organized, and some people get frustrated with it, but being able to have things where they are or in the right place and working properly will be a lot for me. So in hospitality consulting, for me, what I do is I spend a lot of time in my kitchen developing menus, recipes. I even shoot a lot of content in my kitchen as well. So being able to have a beautifully, let's say, very well, practical. Being able to have a really practical kitchen will obviously help me with time management in my kitchen. I'm not running to like the linen cupboard that has spare, chia seeds in it and then running back. But it's just gonna be so much easier and it's gonna help me. But I'm so excited about having a kitchen that I can bring my nephews and nieces in and we can bake cookies, do our Easter cooking. So we do a lot around Easter. Our family, we make flaunes, we make tsureki and all these different beautiful things. Being able to have that at my house will mean so much. So my grandma actually lives on level 1 of my apartment block and I live on level 4. And as she's getting older, she still likes to do a lot of the cooking. But I'm building this so I can start having the family events at my house. I can start having all the Easter baking at my house. And yes, I think that's, for me, it's more than just a kitchen. Obviously it's building my dream kitchen, but it's my culture, it's my family, it's my friends. Having everyone in that space means a lot. I love my kitchen now and it's beautiful, but I need something a bit more practical. So the space is, I think, a bit oddly designed. So I've got a kitchen sink right in the middle of an island bench. So when I'm trying to roll out pastry for Easter or my grandma likes us to make a lot of baked things at Easter, it's really hard to have a kitchen right in the center. Or I have a lot of cupboards at the moment, which is great, but I find they're not as practical for all the things that I store in them, or just oddly designed spaces. So I currently have a really tiny, it's supposed to be a dining room next to my kitchen, which doesn't even seat a 4-seater table for a 3-bedroom unit. It's very odd. And every time you go to pull out a chair, it hits the wall. So it's just not working. So I've taken that table out of there and I'm actually gonna build that into a butler's pantry. So my dream is to have a great amount of storage. Having a big Greek family means a lot of people at events. So I think we're about 30 people. As when I say immediate family, it's like aunties, uncles, cousins, nephews, nieces, which means I need to store a lot of cutlery, a lot of plates, and they get really heavy. I really like ceramic plates at the moment. So they're quite, heavy and sturdy. Being able to store all these is something really important to me. And it's also my styling props for work. So I have a range of antique props or one-offs of things that I don't use necessarily when I'm entertaining, but I use it when I'm styling and creating dishes or content for clients. So I need a place for them. Currently, they're in the linen cupboard all the way at the other end of the house. So if I'm styling granola the other day and I needed something, and having them right then and there also helps visually for me to be like, oh, that will work better, instead of running down the hall, checking out the cupboard, grabbing something and running all the way back. So for me, it's really having consistency, having something that will help me with productivity with work, but also being a place where I can have friends and family and enjoy good food. My biggest thing, which things I've seen in other kitchens, or even now in my current kitchen, is having the layout quite well. I want to make sure my pots and pans are going to be near my stovetop or my oven. So I'm not trying to strain pasta quickly, but got to run to the other section to grab a strainer. My cutlery's in the right spot. Making sure everything is in the right, position. Having a bin the worst is not having a bin near the kitchen. Like when you scrape your plate and then food goes everywhere. Just making sure everything is practical in a sense, where it will sit. Making sure, biggest thing for me is organizing the drawers. And I know that sounds so weird. I like to have everything like perfectly lined up and labeled, but being able to have separators, dividers, and things like that will be really good as well. Making sure, like I said, because it's how I'm gonna be doing it between my main kitchen and my butler's pantry, making sure I have a bin in each section. So I think it's just, the biggest part is the flow. That would be it, if I can explain it the best. So having the flow correct. And like I said, if I'm in there cooking for clients or things like that, I wanna make sure everything's where it needs to be, so it's easily accessible. So I've always known the brand Blum, and I think it was Mum. I'm pretty sure it was Mum. And I've always looked at it and, seen it here and there. And then after doing a little bit of research and understanding more about the products, I was really excited to use it for my kitchen. Just a lot of also, all the little accessories are my favorite, but also the fact that it holds a lot of weight, like I was talking about with my ceramics, a lot of ceramics and things like that, but also just being able to have everything perfectly situated with dividers and the Glad wrap dispenser, all those things. Like, it's just everything that fits in the right place. So it's not just having a drawer, but it's having the perfect dividers that fit in it. So I don't have to go source from somewhere else that something doesn't fit exactly right. So it's sort of like you do it once and you do it properly. So it's longevity of it as well. So I'm not just building a pretty kitchen, I want a practical kitchen, but I want a kitchen that will last through time. So like I said, I'm building my dream kitchen, and it's something where I will be for a very long time. So being able to have something that I can do now and in 10, 15 years time still upholds, that means something a lot. At the moment, my kitchen design is beautiful, it's great. I think I know what I want where, but I know that today I'm just gonna probably be wowed by all the different accessories, all the different ways, even configuration. So being able to actually work out, oh wait, where I put my pots maybe isn't right, or where I put my glasses won't work there, or even like bin and all those sorts of things. So I feel like actually being able to feel like I'm in my kitchen and knowing, okay, I'm cooking something here, this is where I go for this. That's where it is. So being able to make sure my configuration is perfect, but also understanding the products a bit more. So there's only so much you can read online about it, but being able to understand them, being able to know all the different accessories, all the different, the variety you guys have at Blum is just, there's so much, which is great. So I want to know why it works, how it works, things like that. Also, so I can look after it and I can, have it, like I said, for longevity. When I started looking into renovating my kitchen, I worked with a designer and I started speaking to a few different friends that are builders or cabinet makers and things like that, and Blum always came up. So I was so excited to make the investment into it, to know that it's a quality product. So having, like I said, my designer and every single cabinet maker I spoke to, even friends that dads are cabinet makers, were like, you want to go with Blum because it is a quality product. It's something that will last you throughout. So when I made that decision, when I even budgeting and things like that, I was like, okay, let's make that investment into it, because I know this is gonna be a kitchen I want to last for the next 15, 20, for a lifetime.